want to change the theme of a discussion a little bit. The last few days, I've been looking at India's procurement strategies, and I spoke to a very prominent military officer also to understand how India goes about acquiring weapons. He did make an interesting observation about how India also uses diplomacy. One of the goals of diplomacy is to get closer to other countries, and they do that by buying weapons. So I was trying to figure it out as to how India does this. So the recent purchases that India has announced, for example, when Prime Minister Modi came to Washington, D.C., there was an announcement of buying drones, some other advanced technology, about $3 to $4 billion. Then when Prime Minister Modi went to France, there was this announcement of 26 Rafale, and then suddenly submarines. We hadn't heard much about that discussion before that. And now in G20, there was this announcement of MQ-9s that India has decided to buy. So, like, what is the logic of these weapons? Are they to deter China? Are they to deter Pakistan? While there is so much talk of Atmanirbharta and making at home, India is one of the biggest buyers of weapons from overseas.
In 2014, when the new government came in power, and the government had promised that 15 lakhs would be transferred to everybody's account. When the questions were asked of the government that where are those 15 lakhs, so they were told that that was a jumla. Don't you understand there is a difference between what is said during a campaign and what actually happens on the ground after the elections are won? So Atmanirbhar Bharat is also a jumla, a slogan. It has no basis in reality. You have said that a senior officer told you that buying of weapons is also a means of conducting diplomacy. That itself explains that these weapons are not for military use. These are for diplomatic use. So these weapons will not strengthen our military. They will only strengthen our ties with that particular country. If you want to strengthen your military, you have to ask your military what it wants and in what time frame it wants. The Indian Air Force is woefully short of fighter aircraft. It has been trying to procure or buy a new line of fighter planes, advanced fighter planes, for the last 20 years. Nothing has happened. Now, to offset this huge deficiency, the government has again approved 12 Sukhois,
30,
which will be manufactured in India by HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Now, the problem with the HAL manufactured Sukhois were that the last few years, all the incidents that have happened, the accidents or the maintenance issues that have happened with the Sukhoi aircraft have been happening with the ones which were assembled by Hindustan Aeronautics in India. So the Air Force was not very happy with the way they were being done. This was one of the reasons why the earlier procurement program for fighter planes, which was called MMRCA, fell through, because the government of India wanted the French company Dassault Aviation, which was the finalist, to stand guarantee for the fighters being produced by HAL. They refused to do that. So, and Indian Air Force refused to accept the fighters which were guaranteed by Hindustan Aeronautics and not by Dassault. So this is a measure of Atmanirbhar Bharat for you. Now, there are so many things that the government of India has been doing. In the last 4 years, 2019 onwards, it has issued a list of items which India will not import.
Yeah.
So this is called a negative list. Now, in this list, the items which are listed here are in any case not being imported. They are being assembled in India, and they have always been assembled in India for many, many years. But because it makes a good copy, it makes a good headline, so we immediately say, oh, all these items we will not import, we will now make in India. We've always been doing that. So there are a lot of these issues which, if you do not want to look at them, you will not see them. But if you want to look at them, they are all right there staring at you in your face.